Hello and welcome back to the TheDropOutDragon. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Gargoyle Flame Spear. Now this is a weapon that I've seen a couple people using. It is a very good weapon. It's one of the few spears that I actually like. I'm not a huge fan of most of the spears, and there are a lot of them in this game. So the fact that there's actually a couple that I like, including the Dragon Slayers and this one, makes me pretty happy. So let's go ahead and cover the moveset real quick. Standard spear moveset. Okay, those are the R1s. Here are the R2s. Here's the rolling attack, gives that little slam down thing there. And two-handed, give you some nice long range pokes. And there is the R1s and the R2s. Now, the sword art for this weapon is a little unique. You are doing a really long thrusting attack, like most of the spears, and then you do this big jump up, flippy anime spin down, look at me, I'm shooting fire out of my ass. So that's real nice. I wouldn't recommend using that sword art all the time because people will parry it. The thrusting moves, which have that long hitbox, that's really easy to parry. So I wouldn't recommend immediately going into that. So how do you use a spear in this game? It's the exact same principle as most of the other games. Don't, play super aggressive. You can kind of play a little bit passive. You're trying to outspace your opponent, that kind of thing. Lots of weapons incorporate that kind of play style. A lot of rewards for passivity in this game. That's the truth of it. This weapon is very effective two-handed, though. A lot of people want to hide behind a shield, maybe shield poke, but shield poking in this game is nowhere near as strong as the other ones. So I wouldn't recommend, running out and saying, "Oh, look, I'm going to trade with you and poke through my shield. I'm so cool." Don't do that because you're going to take a lot of damage. You're going to lose a lot of endurance when you get hit by other people because it's going to go right through your shield. So don't do that. What you want to do is you want to play a little bit on the aggressive side. There's a couple of ways to do that without getting immediately parried or anything like that. You have to time your attacks. But passivity is one way to play this weapon, and aggressiveness is the other. And when you two-hand this weapon, you can do a lot of damage very quickly. And one of the great things about it is that this weapon, go ahead and catch him in his roll, and I said no, this weapon does fire damage as well as physical damage, so it has inherently good chip damage right through shields. So this guy is just being totally outspaced by me right now. He's thinking, what do I do? What do I throw? And I'll go ahead and get a little counter hit right there. GG guy. Now, as you can see, I wasn't giving him a whole lot of options there. I was like, okay, here, I'm going to get in your face. I'm going to R1 a lot. That's going to keep you away from me. This is the kind of weapon that makes people respect your distance. You can really put some hurt on people very quickly with a weapon like this. So remember that when you're using it, because two-handing this weapon can make you do a lot of damage. Come on, give me a phantom, please. Thank you so much. Two-handing this weapon gives you a lot of damage. The AR on it is 515, which of course is not the exact same as you think, because it is split damage, so it's not doing like, crazy oh my god damage, but it's doing a decent amount of damage, and it goes right through people's shields, which is very nice, with that chip damage from the inherent infusion that it has with fire, which is nice. So let's get this guy in here. Just really quickly covering this weapon. There's not a whole lot to say about it, seeing as how it's a spear, so you'll be thrusting. Be doing a lot of thrusting. Everybody loves thrusting. Let him get his buffs in here. Come on, guy. They have things to do. Yes, now it's time to fight. You got your buffs off, which is fine. He wants me to get nice and close because of that little firebomb there, which I am totally okay with doing because I have the spear. And I will hopefully outrange his R1s, maybe even get the counter damage hits. No, didn't get that one. He'll just hyper armor through that one, which is good for him. So what you want to do is you want to be a little bit careful with your spam. A lot of people with medium shields and small shields, they'll set up parry you right in your face. They will set up parry you, and it will hurt. It'll hurt a whole lot. So let me just keep getting onto this guy. So you don't want to throw out more than 2 attacks. You don't want to do that. Let me go ahead and backstab him. There we go. There we go. See, those thrusting attacks, they have really bad tracking. They do hurt a lot, but they're super easy to parry, and they have really bad tracking, and the spears have those kind of attacks as well. So what happened to that dude could happen to you if you use that sword art just too often. I would say be careful with that. I would say. Okay. So let's get the next guy in here. And, I mean, really and truly, this is the kind of weapon that you just kind of space out. Sorry, I'm sitting here desperately trying to think of something to say with these things, but really and truly, when it comes to a weapon like this, all you really have to do is get in somebody's face, R1 a couple of times, or switch it up and be passive. That's one of the utility benefits of having a spear, is being able to change from being very aggressive to very passive, and you can go back and forth between that, and it's mixing up your movement just enough to where you don't become as predictable. So remember that. One thing I will say is it's really easy to catch people in rolls with the thrusting weapons. Come on, don't do this. Let me get my summons in. I am so tired of failing summons. Then again, it's a sign of good things. It means there's a lot of hosts around, and there are a lot of summons around, and the hosts are just nabbing them up as quickly as possible, just like me. And there's a lot of good connectivity with this game. There is that benefit to the game not being dead, like it would be if we were playing Dark Souls 2 right now, which there's not a whole lot of people still playing that. And why would they? There's a new game out. So we will have to, we'll see if anybody returns to that just for the fun of it. There's been interesting opinions about these games, but I won't be returning anytime soon. For now, this is good enough for me. Okay, so we have a guy with a washing pole, which is a very good, this is a very good matchup. Both of them are basically spears. Both of these weapons, basically spears. Yep, please take your time doing your buffs. This is one of the things that irritates the hell out of me. People who take 10 years to do anything. I've got things to do. I have people to fight. So I'm going to catch him here. Oh, I'm not. I'm not going to catch him here. I'm going to let him spam on me because I'm very smart. I'm very good at the game, I promise. That's why people come to this channel, because I am so good. My skills are without equal. For those of you who have been missing my sarcasm on my YouTube channel, there's a lot of people who were having some trouble with an Orenstein joke I made about him having a katana and other things. I'll go ahead and get a counter hit there. Be like, alright, I'll deal with that. Oh, we have a chugger. Give him a good old bit of the business here. A little bit of the business. There we go. No counter hit there. He came out just fast enough. Just fast enough. I'll keep R1 him, because there's no point not to. There's no point not to. Give him a little bit of the business. There we go. A little bit of the chugs right on us. See, that's what happens when you summon a purple. Never summon purples. I got desperate and I summoned a purple. Shouldn't have done that. Purples will heal on you. It's not like a given etiquette. They're just assholes. They don't care. They're mad spirits. They'll heal on you. They have no concept of fair play. They're just asses. And so, you know, I brought that on myself a little bit right there in that fight. I brought that up on myself. So I just spammed on him. There was no point not to, because I knew he was going to keep doing it, and I was going to win one of those and eventually hit him. So by one hit, I was able just to kill him. If he had killed me, it would have been whatever. You know, he chugged in the match. He basically admitted, "Oh, I've been outplayed. I healed, so you obviously were beating me," and I was afraid of losing. But we were able to just spam him down, which is, you know, something you can do with a spear. Now, if you time your attacks right, your R1s, well, you actually get back to the weapon here. You time your R1s just right, you will be catching them in rolls like crazy as they try to punish you and get closer to you. Now, what you want to do here is be very careful, because a person who is okay to block is also okay to parry. They'll typically not try to parry you on your second attack, but if you go for 3 hits, you're going to have a bad time. So, it is generally a good idea to just throw out some kicks. I'll take that trade. I got the health for it. And then I will space out here and do a jumping attack. See if that catches him. There it goes. Yep. There we go. Ta-da! nice weapon with a good thrusting damage. I'm telling you, this thing's pretty fun. And you always want to use it two-handed, like when, and I mean that mentally. Like you don't have to use it two-handed. You can use it one-handed, have your shield, maybe parry a little bit, you know, that kind of thing if you want. But it works really well two-handed, so it'll make you want to do that. I just all these summon signs. This is what you get when you don't edit. When you have a shit channel like mine, this is what you get when you don't edit. You just gotta deal with it. You have to go picking up signs and all that. But two-handed, this weapon is very effective. Very effective weapon two-handed. It's effective one-handed, but it's kind of slower. It feels a little slower. I don't think it has as much range one-handed as it does two-handed. It's a lot harder for me to roll catch people as opposed to the two-handed. I don't know if that's just a mental thing or I've positioned myself in a certain way because I am a bitch when I have my shield out. So I mean that might be why I've done that. Maybe we'll, you know, find out in the future when we can analyze our own play styles and not be complete shit at the game, because the game still hasn't been out for all that much time, and you know, in retrospect, it hasn't been out for all that long a time. If you're comparing it to the other games, it's not been out, so we don't know how to analyze ourselves as well as we might with the other games. All right, let's see what we got here. We have a guy who's got himself a katana, it seems, with a buckler, which is a good matchup. Katanas against spears are a good matchup for me. I think I have the advantage here because of my range. And they'll be doing the running attack a lot. See, there's a running attack right there. And I'll be like, nah, I have more range than you. And it feels good. So he's going to walk right into that. And I'm going to really mess up a parry there. But see, right there, he tried to do some R1 action right in my face. And I said, nah, I'm not interested in your R1 action. He's got some pyromancy. I do too. Mine is based in science. His is based on magic. Let me just throw that out there, and then boom, just keep catching him. See, I didn't spam the R1, you know, just constantly like this. I didn't do that. You know, I just spaced them out. I was like R1, R1, R1. You're spacing it out to keep him away. Could that be considered spam? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of subjective, I guess. I mean, if you think that's spam, I could understand why you come to that conclusion. I feel it's a little bit more tactical than just mashing my R1 button, but it's the way that the weapon is obviously meant to be played, as I am spacing out an opponent and saying, no, get out of my face, you stay over there, you don't know when I'm going to R1, there's no way you could know when I'm going to attack, so I'm just going to keep doing it in this fashion. You kind of have to be careful, because once you develop a pattern of R1s, your opponent will see it, and your opponent will say, I'm going to parry you. It's very easy to parry weapons like this. Very easy to parry them. So be careful of that. As for spear damage, I mean, like, I don't really like all the other spears. I like this one, and I guess the Dragon Slayer spear is okay. But I really feel like the other ones are lacking. They don't have the crazy range that these do, that spears should have. There are weapons in the game that have like the exact same range of a spear, like the Dark Sword or the Washing Pole, and the reason for using a spear is thrown out the window because that exists. But these weapons have the range. I don't know what it is about the hitbox on this spear, but it's got the range that these other weapons do not. Okay, he's gonna get his buffs in. God, do I love me some. I love me some great sword, some buff great sword. Good stuff. Buff great sword. So we'll put some pressure on him. We'll block his attack. Kind of look at him. He's throwing out R2s. He really, really wants to get me. He's gonna do some fat rolls. I commend him. I commend him for that. Oh, and I messed up a parry, which is okay. We had the ability to backstab, so I figured it was a safe choice. Safe choice there to say, all right, if I mess up this parry, that's okay. I'll just backstab him, because he will get so greedy for a hit that I will be able just to rope around and punish him and put it in his little booty hole, and that's fun to me. Everybody knows that's my favorite thing to do. All right, well, that's it. That's the spear, really and truly. Just, you know, gonna get in there, space out your attacks, do damage, you know, intermittently. Just be like, all right, there's a hit, back off. There's a hit, then back off. Get your R1s in there. Nothing super complicated. It's a thrusting weapon. Maybe time your attacks to just keep catching them in rolls. One of my favorite things to do is to go up two-handed, R1, wait till they roll, R1 again, and you're like, oh. And if you throw in some kicks in there, you might catch them, and it's another free 2 hits. Putting kicks into things, that's a little mix-up there when you're using the spears. I don't find it as effective as some of the other weapons, but I do find it very effective with spears, just throwing out those kicks and getting them. It's just the way the roll timing works, so it's good. It's good to just throw those out, and maybe you'll catch somebody. Maybe you'll even catch them on their shield when they come up. A lot of people have a tendency to come out of a roll with their shield up, and if you can get that kick off or even just a regular R1, you might guard break them, and bam, free riposte for you. So that feels good. All right, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. The Dropout Dragon is dropping out.